Nnamdi Kanu, Umu BIAFRA Ghana, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ọhamadike. Egwu ndị Kolobia BIAFRA balanye obere nwa onye fọrọ ibe kwụzitere anyị ya Chukwu okike abịa kwasitelie ka ọ bịa tọpụ ụmụ BIAFRA na-abụ anyị na-abụ Naịjirịa Chukwu kwụzitere anyị ya ma ndị Yoruba jụziri ajụ mana anyị nwekwa babụ obere 2015 anyị wee mebe ife dị n'ike anyị wee jebe ụlọ chọbazie ndị mkpọrọ anyị na ndị gbochiri anyị ka anyị na-achọ anyị fụrụ ofe nụrụ afa na-agbazi na-achọzi fa mana fa mara na anyị nwere mmeri ife ọbụla anyị nyere aka n'ụwa na-agala anyị ya ka anyị ji bụrụ ụmụ Chukwu okike kedu ife mesịrị mee Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Deputy Director, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ọhamadike BIAFRA, Nnamdi Kanu. water. You need them well. Okay, so go, Nanika. Biafra, Bananio. Biafra, Bano. Biafra, Bunganio. And if you put Banana, in a Pomonia, Nigeria, Pomonia, Niger. What of Nigeria? And I choose him and Musim to Ebamolani Bonabia. Biafra Bobodani, Amaro Mifabu Nigeria, Kukuyali Siku, Gedogebe, Nnamdi Kanu, Adige Biafra, Ifimelani Omu Wakanji Kubeku, Oli Lulu Wajulumanya, Tibodola Julumanya, Ekeneka Tibione, Wanandika, Ekeneka Tibione, Wanandika, Amadike Bramonia Faribe. In my well, you were tinny and you were on my from I'm gonna be. You fed him more, I'm gonna be. I balance no.
Special dedication to heroes of the Nigerian and IPFs all over the world.
On the face of this very planet, we welcome you to hopefully an exciting of our life on this day, this very day, the 27th day of September in the Most High Elohim 2020, precisely 3 minutes of the hour, 3 minutes p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra, the same number of minutes past the place of where you are, where you're listening from. I welcome you and I say good morning, good afternoon, and good night to some of you. As I welcome you, please, my duty to encourage you to welcome people as well, especially them who may not have participated in what we are doing, for them to be a part of this very message of hope and restoration. And as you're doing so, I hope you have joined us via IPOB Community Radio app, which of you should have on your phones and your smart devices right now. Every enabled device, especially the portable ones, will be able to offer you access to download the community radio. It is very low, cheaper for you to even listen via IPB Community Radio than to do so on Facebook. It is far more cheaper in terms of data. We are also live this evening on YouTube. We are live on our FM in BIAFRA land, Duduwa land in Lagos to be precise. We are in Abuja. We are in Kanu as well. And Motherland. You can get us on 102.1. We are also on satellite. We are on Radio Biafra app, on tuning, and a whole host but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the glory, forever and ever, we pray. He said, the Lord's Prayer that Jesus Christ prayed, Yeshua, to let mankind understand that there is only one. This evening we preach the gospel of heaven, that mankind may bear us witness, that in their time they came, and this very gospel was preached, and the whole world heard them, and those who were previously in bondage. This evening we start with the damnable zoological republic. The funniest thing about these people are foolish, but they don't know how foolish they are. This evening we are going to peel away the veil of ignorance and of stupidity to allow them to be able to reason properly like human beings. You all can recall in 2015 the man that Jonathan, should I say, ill-advisedly appointed to lead INEC. His name is Atayu Jega. He's a Fulani Janjaweed. He installed Buhari, whose spirit is wandering aimlessly in the desert of Arabia, because that's where he was buried and that's where he is. His body can no longer be brought back to the zoo. That is the sacrifice he has in order for the total Islamization of the damnable Zoological Republic to be accomplished by the likes of Garbashir and that Ahiru Jaga. You must listen to me very attentively this evening, morning, afternoon, or night, depending on where you are. This was the man who was responsible. And this is the game that the Fulanis play all the time. This evening, we are going to ask ourselves, who are responsible for making the lives of the people in Israel? Who are those responsible for the spate, or should I say, the ceaselessness of terrorism in the zoo? Who is to blame? After every analysis, you will come to the inescapable conclusion that Fulani have managed to convince all of you to look elsewhere for problems, or for the problems that they have, something that I cannot begin to fathom. Jega said something very important. He said Nigeria is at stake because they now know we have into an alliance with our Oduduwa brethren, and they know that need of Oduduwa agitators is not like anything they have seen before. This very crop is serious about liberating Yoruba land from the damnable Zoological Republic. They know how fanatical we are about Biafra. So they are panicking. And Fulani will do what Fulani always does, to try to dampen down the tension and try to convince you with warm words, to try to deflect and divert your attention away from the real culprits of the miserable state that the zoo is in. The very article that I'm sure that he called Nigeria's future at stake once, Jega, published by a zoo newspaper. Now, please, the former chairman of the Independent National, from one Fulani man to another, because those who goes into power. His name is Professor Atahiru Jega. On Friday, warned that Nigerians' future was at stake due to misgovernance. That is the word to note, misgovernance. In other words, misrule, corrupt inept leadership of mediocrity. He said misgovernance, which means that the country hasn't been governed properly. But this was the same man in concert with Obama decided to rig somebody they know is patently unfit into power in 2015. Ever since, they have brought one plastic another with a hyper-reality face mask to deceive all of you gullible zoo animals. Fear and cowardice, of course, to point out the misgovernance. Who's governing the zoo? Who is governing the zoo? The same Fulani that they put into. He himself is a Fulani man. If you read this thing, he is blameless. He's got nothing to do with it. This was the man in cahoots with Obama and the to rig somebody they know is hopeless. Power in 2015. Buhari, late Buhari, was not an intellectual. He wasn't an educated man. He didn't go to school. Of course, due to quota system, they kept pushing him because it's one of the few Janjaweeds you can actually synthesis together in English, or be it in broken English. He was a genocidist, was a murderer and a killer who should have been tried in The Hague and jailed. But Britain, of course, is always there to save them. Britain is the godfather of Fulani people. They're there to ensure that the reign of media, ensure that Fulani's continuation in power is unimpeded, to also allow them unrestricted access to the natural resources, which is mainly oil and gas. As simple as that, everybody knows it's not hidden. Jega stated this, he was saying this at the inauguration of a 34-member policy advisory committee of the PRP, the old party of Aminu Kanu, People's Redemption Party, in Abuja on Friday. You know what he said? He asked Nigerians not to allow bad to misgovern the country by contributing to the electoral process. Now they want to shift your attention once again to go vote. PVC, get your PVC, go and vote. When this idiot was the fool responsible for putting somebody new was so inept, somebody they knew was an ethnic jingoist, somebody they knew who was a bigot, somebody they know will entrench nepotism, somebody they know whose aim and mission is to Islamize, to finish the work that Ottoman Danfodio started. Knew all this, it was their plan. Look at how Jega very cleverly have removed himself to ask you, don't allow bad people. So if you're saying this in this day and age, in this era, in 2020, that means that bad Nasarok. That's what he's saying. Don't allow bad people to continue. It's simple English language. What he's trying to say is that there are bad people in Nasarok. And if Buhari were to be alive, this idiot that put Buhari in power couldn't have been making such a statement. It is called common sense. Of course, it is quite elusive when it comes to black people. We don't reason very well. We don't put two and two together to give us four. Bad people allow bad people to continue to misgovern. I've been warning you over the years. Every time they focus your eye on election, oh, maybe in 2023, you would elect somebody who is reasonable, who will turn things around. But then they will turn around and still tell us, we are born, we must rule, and Britain, of course, you should pray from the east to be bribed. Those of you from the west will be blackmailed or cajoled into submission. Misery. Atahiru Jaga, you should contribute to the electoral process once again. So forget all your pains in 2020. In fact, in 2019, forget all your sufferings of 2020. Forget you made to 2023, but please hold 2023. Those that will say, let's ready, so the kingdom of heaven is very near. They themselves, they are here with the kids and having fun. They are here living in mansions, living, enjoying, but telling you to hope that heaven is coming. The same thing they are doing. These are the people who have stolen so much money to Fulani, Janja. Look at how he had to speak. That the Western diplomats will read this thing and say, oh, he's a very good man. He is not for was to one must leave office. We were mentioning the ex-president Jonathan this very evening because some idiots have come again. They are going to fail, and they will fail very well. The committee is made up of Mr. Richard Uru, Professor Ifani Anebo, Ali, Dr. Ahmadu Sam, Hajia. I believe that all Nigerians can no longer say you listening, no longer sit on the fence, as everybody needs to contribute to the cleansing of politics in Nigeria. Everybody now they know that things are bad. They have always known that is always their game plan. But because 200 100 million people are there saturated with stupidity. Nobody can rise above the parapet of ignorance, I will call it, to see Fulani Janjaweed for what they are. All of a sudden, you are now acknowledging that the zoo is bad. The zoo is bad, of course, because for the very first time, there is meaningful between the East and the West, so they are now panicking and they are worried. They have gone to the usual suspects, though, that they give money to massage your foolishness. They give them money and all those places, all those so-called elite. No electricity, no light, no good roads, no hospitals, nothing. People are dying. They're full of Janjaweed, they are slaughtering and killing people. All you do is you answer elite, the political class, political elite. Elite is in my food. They have given and they've said, we know nothing about any alliance, but how come that they have now joined hands? Now Fulani have realized that things are bad. Oh, let's start doing something. Let us focus their mind and their attention on 2023. Let us use the electoral process. They know that electioneering cannot change the zoo. They know that, they understand that. That was the system that they built. That was the system that Britain helped them to build. They entrenched Fulani Jihadism. The reason why we preach the way we do is for people to be able to reason, to have the gumption, to have the capacity to see where these criminals are coming from. All of a sudden, all of you must contribute to cleanse politics in Nigeria. But yes, in 2019 said something, because you knew that Jubril was going wearing Buhari's face as a mask. You know that very well, silicon mask. You know that very well. You did not say this thing in 2019 before the elections. No, as you people did against Jonathan, you never said anything in 2019. It's now having rigged a complete, a nobody into office, because nobody exists as a president. It is somebody wearing it, claiming it's Buhari. All of a sudden, you have now come out. You have now realized that things are bad. You see how they're full and they think, anyway, they can deceive some of you. They cannot deceive IPOB. Fully in time to come, you do the agitators as well. You cannot defeat people who are more intelligent than you are. They're directing your attention towards this once again. He went on to say, there should be no fence sitters. Nobody should sit on the fence. The future is at stake. All of a sudden, Fulani is saying, our future is at stake. They're saying it because the continuation of one Nigeria is what they want. The continuation of one Nigeria will make them even give more money to Dangote. Dangote will now own will own every critical, vital sector of the economy. Fulani will be everywhere. There will be Ruga. That's why they want to. Because before I came on air today, I was thinking, if you had told Azikiwe in those days, the Zik of Africa, that this Nigeria he's fighting for will result in his people being killed, will result in a Ebonyi state almost becoming a caliphate. Ebonyi state is almost a caliphate, not for IPOB. He wouldn't believe it. If same Azikiwe, that the same useless country you're fighting for, come back to remind the boundaries in your own homeland. That people who were previously Igbo will now say we are no longer Igbo because they have been brainwashed and made useless by Fulani Janja Buddhism. He won't believe it. Fighting for one Nigeria, but in the process he was losing the soul of his nation, and that's what happened to us today. Now that is what they're doing. They always pursue on one Nigeria. Let us build Nigeria. They know Nigeria is not viable. They know that Nigeria is more or less a company. It's a British company with a flag and an anthem. That's all that is to it, and a defined boundary. A British company till tomorrow morning, it is still that same Royal Nike, the same. It doesn't change. It is the same. Every blessed day. The Fulanis, they understand it. Britain that is controlling the zoo, they understand it. Once they keep as a fool, only an idiot will rise up and say, oh, I am Nigerian, I want to be part of Nigeria great again, or I want to help salvage the zoo. You cannot. Any effort you're making, any particular endeavor you make towards sending one Nigeria means that you are finished. Somebody saying somewhere, which radio is off? They say it's off, yet working is off. Is what? I don't know what I'm talking about. I have a distraction today. Are you following me? They want you to focus on election 2023. Maybe by any will vote in people that told us that Buhari was higher. He was coming out, ended up making the zoo, Nigeria, the most terrorized country and number 3 in the whole world. This was an idiot that came into power claiming that they're going to turn everything around. With the help of Obama, with the help of Tinubu, they convinced them. And I'm very, very, very glad that all of, finally, our people in the West, the race, can now see that thing we have always seen good can come out. Nobody should politics. You get what we are doing. What is that nonsense? Electricity. Let us assume for 1 second that it's going to build roads. Is it that one that they build one column, they pour concrete into on top of rock, and they say they have built? Is this the pace of development need or you require to absorb all those who are great, or have all of you all of a sudden accepted that you will get a degree work in your life, or you're very disciplined that you studied in school? I don't want idiots to listen to me. Reasonable people that have got some sense of gumption, who can actually things. Mediocrity upon mediocrity, that is what you're saddled with. And this man is Fulani. This man is the same idiot responsible, the same bad people on all of you. He is referring to the Kaba. I think he's announced the death of Maman Daura. So I don't know who the leader of the Kaba is. So I can curse you and you will die. It's as simple as that. I don't know. Maybe it's El Rufai. I'm not too sure. Or maybe they are fronting Garba. Nobody's quite sure as to who is now controlling the cabal, because there is no president, there is no vice, there is no chief of army staff. That is taking his gospel. He is now referring to them as a Baal. I want all of you that INEC used to rig the late Buhari into the man conniving with Obama to make sure it ascends into the throne of governance in the zoo. The late dead Buhari, who is now lying grave in Saudi Arabia. Nobody can dispute. No sensible human being can dispute. They have not given. This is the man now that the same fool and the same people that preach into the mess you're in, the same man that gave you high petrol price, kerosene, everything, making your life a movie, is now coming to you and telling you, whereas his own account in Dubai is overflowing with hard currency. And it's the you fools who will listen as usual. But I thank heavens that they can now wake up and the coffee. People are now realizing what we realized, or what we accepted very many years ago. That is where he will not accept that they made a mess of everything. That is how the zoo operates. The nepotism, as I tweeted a few days ago, the nepotism by this present Fulani cabal, of which Ahiru Jeka was instituted in the first place. The Islamic terrorism sweeping through the zoo, Nigeria, they are all part of the plot to Islamize the zoo. It is their fear. They come and they treat you, they lie to you. Some of you fell for it. Those that call themselves Niger Delta, they fell for it. Jews have been falling for it. All their divide and rule made of the suffering. Because as I'm on air this evening, I can tell you, those of Birom origin, go and ask them in Birom. Go and ask them. Because sometimes you don't know what people are suffering in the so-called Jobert. You have no idea. In Birom, for instance, they have been telling them one Nigeria, their leader is the problem, and Igbo man is the problem. Oh, one Nigeria. Now today in Birom, in Plateau State, I am still a fact. There is no Birom man or woman who government chairman. They are all Fulani. This is something that I want you to understand. agitate for one Nigeria, to keep Nigeria one, the more your ethnic group at risk of extinction. If you go to Biron, go to all the local government area, Plateau State, occupied by Biron. If you go there now, you will see it for eyes. Fulani have taken over. Even ordinary local government chairman, they cannot even get. I want people to understand that you stand to do to your people in time to, maybe by that time you'll be dead. Right now, Azikiwe is dead, Awolowo is dead, all the people that fought for one Nigeria is dead. They never knew that by fighting for one Nigeria that they are inadvertently advancing the Fulani conquest of their own people. Understand this very clearly. Now, these same people, it is not by accident that Nigeria's security forces are led by extremist Fulani Islamists in uniform. All of them. Police commissioner, be it in the army, they planned this many years ago to occupy every sensitive position and to use that position to advance Fulani terrorism, be it through Miyetti Allah, be it through ISIS in West Africa, be it through Boko Haram or Fulani bandits who are funding these people. Are you telling me that somebody from Mali, who is a terrorist from Mali, and travel away to Agatu to kill people and nobody stopped him? Is that what you're telling me? Because I want people to engage their thinking. Our job here is to enlighten. It is to educate that people may be able to reason. That's all. Are you telling me they say they are foreign bandits? Okay, let's assume that foreign bandits came from Niger, from Mali, from Chad, from all the Fulani terrorized territories to come into the zoo. When they got into Nigeria, who now gave them the guns they are using to kill people? These are simple questions I expect the so-called intellectuals to be asking. I expect those who claim that they need to be asking simple questions. You claim that these people, they are foreigners. Did the weapons, they bring it with them as they were coming? Or did they get it when they got into Nigeria? It's a very simple question. But people don't ask these questions. And I have tried to educate and to school black people to understand the reason why you have a law court. To understand the reason somebody can sit in a jury, a panel of jury. And two people were fighting, for instance. And police in the process. The police took two of them to the station and charged them and referred the matter to court. Nobody was there. What happened? In the court, you will be called upon as an accused to state your case, you state. And that the judge will ask, aside, please, do you have any questions? It's called cross-examination. Because through cross-examination, you find and who is telling the truth. That is why you ask questions. But in all the years, should I say in all the years of colonialism or damaging European influence in Africa, we have forgotten. It's a very simple way to find out who is lying and who is telling the truth. Even Solomon used it in the Bible by asking questions. That is how you know who is lying and who is telling the truth. And what are those questions that you are at the zoo? If it wasn't your intention to Islamize everybody in the zoo, Nigeria, why is it that every sensitive security position is occupied by a Fulani person? Simple question. If you claim that you want to advance the country, you want to make things better, how come the head of every sensitive parastatal is a Fulani person? If you claim you want to provide employment, and people don't know what employment idea. The thing is, the job of the government, of course, is not. The government's job is to create an enabling environment to allow entrepreneurship with ideas to create jobs and opportunities for the population. That's what it means. How come, if your motives were not sinister, how come you shut down four refineries that employ thousands upon thousands of people? NMPC owns them, run by Fulani. NMPC run by Fulani. You have not refined not 1 gallon of fuel. But you gave the license to your brother, a fellow Fulani, than go to a refinery. Whereas shutting down, I don't know people are really, I can't, when I say this thing, they say, if people reason this way, why should they not be insulted? I Facebook, I want to ask Facebook, when people be foolishly, don't I have the right to insult them? You have 4 refineries, 4 built even Fulani governments, built by people that saw the future or that wanted to build a nation. Babangida was instrumental. Economic plan was the best. I'm just telling you the truth. Babangida, in the post-war era, since 1970, the only person who has come close to, or should I say, to formulating a viable economic policy. Why? Refinery. These are refineries. So many graduates could have been employed. Think of the spin-off industry. There is of how people in the area, even all these things I'm telling you is not rocket science. It's common. Why would a people claim, let's join hands together, let's vote and move the country forward? Why would you close down all these refineries? Give the license to your brother to have a monopoly over the supply of 100 million people, making him even richer than he already is. And then you turn around and tell me, let's build. Let us build the country. Build what? Build what are you building? Build what? I'm asking you. With bare hands? You are in a country. You are telling me that you are in a country. You are telling me you are from Biafra land, the east, that they call. You claim you are from there. Your own son is the transport minister. He has not built a railway in his land. He's building a republic. And you're okay with it. You somehow you go to work or you go to church, everything is okay. And you're telling me that you're telling me that your sense is intact? Of course it's not. You see, that's what makes you, because you do not reason. The difference between black people and white people is that white people reason. They submit everything to the altar of reason. Black people do not reason. The animal in the area, they don't reason. Those that you call politicians, they do not reason. They can't think very well. That is why I rest with this Odua group that wrote to the Sultan. I'm going to analyze this later this very evening. This tells you all you need to know about the damnable Republic is being captured in this very letter. And I ask, if the information contained in this letter has been in the public domain, in the open, for decades, why would anybody be antagonistic towards AI? Why would anybody be against self-agitation by people that want to be free? That is something that I cannot get my head around. You have people who are from Biafra, from the east. You have people from the west. You have people from the middle belt. You even have some people who are in the army and in the police looking for agitators to kill because of should I say, their backwardness. There are Biron people who are in the army. There are Biron people who are in the police. If you ask them to go to MNA, but their own village, their own local government has been taken over by the Fulani people. When I know that black people are, I'm not insulting anybody, stating the facts so you understand it. It's so painful, then you try and change. And Oduagu, President of Sokoto, open letter to the Sultan of Sokoto, Abubakar, and the Fulani leaders. The Sultan of Sokoto and Fulani leaders, Al-Haji Abubakar Said. Now listen, union. We must note, first of all, that is an anomaly. Nigeria is a contraption. It has never been. If you doubt me, please go to Google and Google the meaning of the word name. That is why I keep saying that in Biafra land, We will build universities. Because as I said last week, the Nigeria as a contraption is not advanced enough because people do not up to 10 million in a country of supposedly 200 million people. 7 million only is holding all of you hostage. You are all hostages, all of you. You have been kidnapped. Some of you may not have been kidnapped in the real sense of the word, like taking you away or raping you, Boko Haram raping you or what I know, or like Leah Shrebu or impregnating you, converting you forcibly to Islam. No, but all of you in your homes right now listening, you are all victims of Fulani kidnapping. You have been kidnapped politically, kidnapped religiously, you've been kidnapped socially, you have been kidnapped economically. You are nothing. Fulani have reduced all of you to their level, a Janjaweed level. That is what they have succeeded in doing. Some of you are too blind or educated to it. Please, I beg of you. We run you these opportunities for a dialogue on the future of Nigeria, which has eluded the various groups in Nigeria and which may not enhance itself too soon. Given the drumbeats of armed violence and extremism perpetrated largely by your people, this Oduduwa group is now in the Sultan. All the armed conflict, all the violence in Nigeria are even caused by Fulani people. And the fleeting prospects of a national dialogue, and to have a national dialogue, they said no. We will kill you, we will kidnap you, we will vulgarize you, we will take over your waterways. We are Fulani, we do all we can. After all, Britain is backing us, we can do anything we like. 7 million messing up the lives of 193 million people. Now, tell me why those 93 million people are not fools. Are Fulani people more intelligent than you are? Are they more educated than you are? Ask yourself, how come all of you are sitting down there talking your useless one kid as Fulani are busy encroaching to your towns, your villages, using terrorism, using everything they have in the books? I recall somebody who wanted to contest for in BIAFRA land a few years ago. You know what I told him? People, you'll be shocked. People told him, please go to the north and look for one mayor or one Allah to sponsor you. So for you to govern a state in Biafra land, you have to go to the north to get Fulani seal of approval, as the Supreme Court governor of Imo State did. I want people to appreciate this very broadcast decision. Because according to this Yoruba group, they have told the Sultan to his face, Sultan of Sokoto, your people are the ones of Fulani, the same Fulani about building the nation. They know that the best way to build the nation will be through a sovereign national conference, a dialogue to determine how people are going to live. They know that, but they will not ask for that. The only thing they will offer you is keep going to polling station, keep voting until one day, miraculously, one person will emerge as a good person, and then will lead you into El Dorado, the promised land, paved with gold and silver, where the rivers will be flowing with honey and milk. Common sense. Ask anybody, what is the solution to the problem in the zoo, they will test a national dialogue by people who are serious, not by the compromised. They know themselves. They do that very thing. The answer is no. They will tell you, go and vote, because they know if you vote, they will rig. They know if you vote, they will control. Don't you know that? I love this Yoruba group. What is their name again? I will get to their name later on. Given the drumbeats of armed violence caused by Fulani people are the ones killing people. Even a national dialogue, there is no more hope. They said restructure, Fulani said no. They said review constitution, Fulani said no. Because the man wrote the constitution. Had it been any other person that wrote that constitution and foisted it on Fulani, they would have changed everything by now. 2 million people enslaving all of you, 193. They get one or two of your corrupt leaders and they give them some chicken change for meeting in the house. Edwin Clark will call NMPC chairman and say, oh, do you know I have social cultural groups in my house? A meeting from the south. The man will say, oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, come, Bolaji, advance them 20 million from there, please. It was expenses. These people will come to the house of we had them 3 million. The head of social cultural group, they go back, and the zoo is as bad as ever. And this would they claim they love us, they are our leaders, they are our elders, they are getting worse every blessing, and they do nothing. All they do is to and even before they issue their statement, they will say, oh, please, Abuja, I'm going to write something. They are worried. Please, let us just do something. Let us just make a statement. The last opportunity to constructively engage you and the Fulani nation is this letter. This is the last time, this Odua group is saying, this is the last time we are going to write in a civil manner. The problem is getting out of hand. Now here comes their name. Akwapo Odua Goya, which is AOYA for short, the acronym. The coalition of several Edo and Yoruba groups write feelings about the Nigerian state and what are the pitfalls that lie ahead, most of which are oiled and orchestrated by your own people, the Fulani, albeit consciously. In other words, as the parliamentarian said in the UK, Fulani know what they are doing. They are the ones pushing terrorism. They are the ones advancing Fulanization. They are the ones conquering you. As I said, I want you to ask any of your Birom friends in particular state. You claim you are from Birom. You believe in one Nigeria. This thing you're doing, but in your village, in your local government, you cannot even be an ordinary local government chairman. This ties into what I said before. The more you support Nigeria, the more you put your race at risk. That is why anybody talking about one Nigeria from anywhere, that person is an enemy of his or her people. Because one Nigeria means this thing that Britain put together. And this nonsense Britain put together, the powers today, Fulani. Power may come to your days, after that go back to, and within that space of years, they will destroy everything you have done. Look at a country that people that in the past had let me call them visionary leaders. They built 4 refineries. 4. People came to me, they shut down all refineries, closed. And now, instead of reopening the refineries to employ people, since there is unemployment, they now have license to one of their own build one mega refinery in Lagos. And people watch this thing every blessed day, and they're moving about, claiming that they are reasonable, that they're intellectuals, that they are well read, that they are learned. And I'm saying, no, you're not. You're a glorified baboon. You know your brains are empty. How can you claim you are intelligent? The 4 refineries that could employ an upward of 10,000 people is shut down. And you import petrol. Only that will let anybody who has brain in their skull to understand that these are not human beings. So the petrol you imported from abroad, where did they refine it? In a refinery. The same refinery that you have. And to make matters worse, because you're paying subsidy. You're paying subsidy. The money claim you don't have, you're paying subsidy for imported petrol. I don't understand it. The same petrol is coming from a refinery abroad. The same refinery that you have in Iguachi, the same you have in Honduras. Why, therefore, now let us assume that those people you are refining in their countries, that they decide to be like you and shut down all the refineries in their countries. Will you have any? Where will you get your petrol from? Where will you get your petrol from? I ask you. Let me go back to this letter. In the past, there was no history of Fulani in today's territory until 1804. There was no Fulani in Nigeria. No, I won't call it. I will call it Hausa territory. They only came in 1804. This was 800 years after the Yoruba kingdoms had been established, about 600 years after the Hausa monarchies, the Ejo, the Tiv, the Gara, the Jugun kingdoms had flourished. The Igbo nation had existed for centuries before. We have existed for thousands of years, not centuries. Thousands of years. We are the old on the face of this earth. Thousands of years. I said thousands upon thousands of years. Go to the pyramid in Sudan. That tells you all you need to know. We built pyramids. Before even the first vulture that heralded the coming of the Fulani Lajalon mountains, before the first vulture that brought Fulani forth, before the first vulture was hatched from its egg, existing as a people. They were ancient people. And I thank this people for reminding everybody of that. We recall that your forefathers came to power through brutal and bloody conquest of indigenous people in many parts of northern Nigeria under the guise of Islam. We are fighting corruption. We are fighting for Allah, for Islam, and they conquered all the way to Kwara State. Are you following? Because in life, everyone went to a proper school you learn as an undergraduate, even when you do an elective course, is this. They will tell you that history has a knack of repeating itself. History has a habit of repeating itself. That is why we must be vigilant. The Fulanis have done this in the past and they've succeeded. They conquered the Hausa, and the Hausa foolishly helped them to conquer the Bagi. They foolishly helped them to conquer the Nupe. And everywhere is a Fulani conquest, all the way to Juku people. One professor. They enlighten you at all? Do they actually tell you what life is all about? I want to ask you to read Fulani history. In fact, there's an assignment this evening. Anybody again who argues with you about one Nigeria or the need to preserve Nigeria or to make it one, no matter who the fool is, just ask the idiot. Please, I beg. Working from Yet Yalam, encroaching until what happened to you. That in Birom land, there is no local government where you have a Birom person. They are finished. Is it what you want to see happen to your people? I ask you. That is why everywhere people are rising, middle belt will rise. You will see, just what I say. Because if you don't rise up, they will swallow you up. The Hausa people failed to rise up. I will continue. We record that fair bears came. The Fulanis came through brutal and blood of indigenous people. They took over everywhere. They spread their Islam into Yoruba land. Hausa land, like Katsina, like Kanu, was swept to one side, as I have written yesterday. Even Kanu Empire collapsed. Constant pressure from the Fulani. The Shehu of Borno kept resisting. They kept fighting until they whittled them down. They couldn't defeat them. That was why they stopped Boko Haram. Why do you think Boko Haram is in Borno? Why do you think Boko Haram, the epicenter of their struggle is in Borno State, where they want to set up a caliphate? Because they tried and tried and tried for centuries. Borno said no. We are not going to follow the Fulani pattern. But Fulani still succeeded in penetrating and hang their MS. But of course, you still have the Shego of Borno. Do you know that? Do you know that? That is why they went there. Do you know that everybody in the north and went to Borno? Borno said no. They will be sleeping at night, and the Sheikh of Borno and his armies will go and kill all of them. Are you aware of that history? Some of you don't know the Fulani. That is why when I see a fool, when I see a compound illiterate mouthing their rubbish, one Nigeria, they don't know they are digging their graves, or should I say, dig their own people. Because one day they will come and they will take your land over. And I thank this Yoruba group for pointing this thing, this very issue out. So that thing is Sultan. So Sultan, you're to Nigeria in 1804 of your people have been very, very successful. You people are very lucky. Even when Britain came, they took you, they adopted you as their favorite slave and gave the powers that you needed. And people, what I find astonishing, are you telling me that this history now, being enumerated, Akpapo, Odua, Koya, are you telling me it's not been there? These things are in your library. If you go to your libraries, they are there, to the internet, they are there, you will know how they came about, you will know how the Fulanis came. A country of over 300 ethnic groups was to you, a foreigner. I love this people. If they can keep up this tempo, you'll be waking up that thing. Yoruba is saying that people who are indigenous to the land when you came was handed over to you very cheaply. First, through conquest, and some of it part by you who never owned an inch of land. Do you know that the Fulani, they're not telling you, we want Ruga, we graze our cattle in the forest, and we do our business in the bushes. Mietela is telling you. Even the media, the useless journalist will be there writing a business in the bush. Let me ask Fulani, you want to come into my forest to come and did you bring land when you were coming to Kajala? Where is your land? Did you ever own land before? You're nomad. You don't own land anywhere. You are a wandering tough beast. Where on earth have you owned land before? What is the problem? You don't know the problem is Fulani. So you don't know? The Jonathan is going to. Do you know that Fulani is the problem? Are you aware of that? Are you aware? The thing is that they will never stay in one place. They always want other people's properties. I don't understand the reason why, and they never work for it. The British in 1960, according to this very letter, the British left in 1960 and you emerged as the main benefactor. Even though your people were not known to have fought for independence, which Fulani man fought for independence? Just nobody. Did the Fulani people fight the British? No. They welcomed them. But they emerged as the highest benefactors, or should I say the main one. You were wise enough to plant your people. They were very clever. Britain had the power in the gun, control the gun. Whoever pulls the trigger controls power. So they made sure that their children were in the army. Courtesy of Britain. That was British advice. And they took it and went into the army. Very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. And now what they have done is this letter, it is a reflection of your preference for force. They want to use force, police force, even police. Now listen to this very carefully. That is why I keep saying, I don't know how else to nigger animals I will understand. Where did you get your independence from? From who? From Britain. Which means everything you had upon independence was a mirror image of British life. Is that British laws, British schooling, education system, British health system? Everything was British. Is that correct? In Britain, do you have police force in Britain? Is there any IG land? People don't understand this very fact. No centralized police. To there will be no power. You actually do in 1972 when your wife went missing. The man said, I did nothing. I just went home. They never beat him to death. Where will come from? Under the four official creation called the zoo, people, Yorubas are talking to the Sultan. Your people, yet why the Fulanis have seated so far in the right of Ohanese. And you have cleaned? No. Is there employment? No. In what way does government benefit ordinary people? No, none. There's nothing. Now, see the people listen. They don't know that we know the strategy of Fulani. Fulani will give money today for my. I said to him, oh, please try and build one flyover, build one market, do this and do that. After all, Sammy put this. Sammy came in and killed goats in. In return for those loans, you allow me access. They can settle anywhere in Ebonyi. Ebonyi was their target. So Ebonyi wanted to Benue State. For Ebonyi as an Islamic state, and we said no to it. We are saying no, and they know it now. They know very, very well. Want to do that is as long as you remain in the pressure will be there to take you over. If you don't know, let me tell you. The Zik never saw that. No, he did. And one this, you know, it's like something. Their ears, they don't listen. They don't hear well. Like if you meet an if all he wants to, or all she wants to do is to contest election. It's our turn to eat money, and you're telling me about freedom. They don't want to hear. All they want to do is to eat money. Look at how brave this is, telling the Sultan the sins of the Fulani, and you're there shouting, "What Nigeria?" Go to your village and see going to it, and they also middle belt. Now they have woken up, but it is they say better late than never. Then middle belt must hurry up. Even how must hurry up. You must save yourself. Forget these guys are like Hausa Fulani. You must save yourself. Killing people everywhere. This letter is very lengthy. Very lengthy. It was signed by Colonel Showumi, retired. A colonel. He was like, oh, I'm an elite. After in the army, I don't want my name to be heard. He's Colonel Abimbo Showumi, retired. Salu Ahmed Akorede. People are coming to speak for them. Our own is, oh, you know, we have fought before. We fight again. You know how it is. You need to plan very well. Plan for how many years, I ask you? All they wanted to be, allow us to contest. Anybody who is contesting election, enemy of freedom, contest and get into power. Once they're in, it's their turn to eat for 8 years. You have 8 years. Another idiot comes up. It's my turn to contest. And it keeps. For some of you who don't understand, conquered, I'm going to play something for you. So you understand that they have been conquered. Unfortunately, after this very program, you are going to listen to a clip of what is happening in the Middle Belt. These are Middle Belt people in the army. They are in the police. They are the ones saying, kill IPOB, but their villages are gone. And you know the funniest thing is that God is fighting for us. As you're coming and you're trying to kill us for your Fulani masters, your own villages are being taken over by the Fulani bandits. That is how foolish people are. That is why I have said, if you're from the Middle Belt and you're in the army, if you're first Ududuwa Yoruba land and you're in the army or police, let's go and arrest IPOB. Let's go and shoot every agitator and every protester. You are giving your village to them for free. You are a fool. You are doing exactly the same thing that Hausa peasants did. That was one of the kings. And replaced them with emirs. Something that happened in 1804. 1804, when Kobe fell. So President is what people that claim they went to universities are doing. In 1804 is what some graduates are doing today. The same you are an Igbo man, BIAFRA, wherever you are, fighting for your freedom to God. And as a you don't come to God, you want them to demoralize us, to abandon our struggle. Your is exactly the same behavior of a Hausa peasant 200 years ago that led to the fall of Gobe and the name this Sokoto, the Katsina. Today they have the emir of Katsina. Today they have the emir. Are you listening? Some of you that claim you're in the army, you're in the police, you're saving one Nigeria. Do you know that fighting Nigeria means giving up your village to Fulani to conquer. Are you aware of that? I want to play something for you. Some of you are dumb, very, very dead. But I must wake you. It is our duty to wake you up. And we are doing so, diligently. We want to shoot at them. We want to help you are helping Fulani conquer village. Listen very carefully to this, please. Listen very, very carefully. Listen.
In March, 7 to 100 churches in Zaria City were burned down, and all 300 Christian homes and businesses, cars, and a couple of people killed and destroyed.
Yes, brother.
I was the leader then of the Christian Association Zaria chapter.
Are you listening?
In 1987, in March, 7 to 12, 100 churches in Zaria City were burned down, and 300 Christian homes and businesses, cars, and a couple of people killed and destroyed.
In Zaria.
I was the leader then of the Christian Association Zaria chapter.
Yes.
And the Lord asked me to tell the people to do nothing.
Yes.
And I wrote that letter. It was circulated, and the Christians watched as their businesses were being destroyed, homes killed.
This by Fulani.
In 2010, I was in Jos as bishop.
Send me the belt.
To the date, 7 to the 12th of March, 3 villages in the near outskirts of Jos. Muslims massacred men, women, and children.
Are you listening?
And the church leaders, we were all convinced to beg the villagers and the wives and the entire Christianity to do nothing.
Yes, Christians do nothing.
Died until their voices were dried up. And there was nothing more. And they just watched. 40 people came to my house to kill me. Then on my return home, and they met my wife. They did unspeakable things to her, left her half dead and totally blind.
Are you listening? You are from the Middle Belt. One night, he was a one, you know. He was in Zaria. They killed Christians. They killed what they mean by Christians is that they kill local populations, people who actually own the land. In that Zaria, they have the mayor of Zaria, who is a visitor. He ran to Jos. They met him in Jos. He escaped with his wife. He's a very brave man. To give away this video to our people that do live videos so they can analyze it. He said before, when I went to university in England, one of the first things that I had in mind was to, as I told my father into England, is to understand how Britain brought this, and of course, to study and to research the level of stupidity in the brain of a black man. I wonder why I speak the way I do, why I curse and I insult black people. Because if I don't curse and insult black people, that area of your brain that harbors stupidity needs to grow. So we need to diminish it. This is Nigeria for you. The man is giving you dates from years back, his own personal experience. The wife was raped in front of, defiled by Fulani Janjaweed. In the same country, they ask you, come on, please come and vote. If in 2023, vote in 2099, vote in 2098. Be foolish. The same people, Christians from the Middle Belt, Southern Kaduna in Jos, as I said to you, you are in the army, in the police. You are helping to extend their rule to your village by doing what is wrong before God and before man. Let us listen to this very man, because it is absolutely astonishing. Astonishing. Go through in the zoo and they keep quiet. But I'm listen, and this very crop, I'm telling you, these people, they are now hardcore. Serious. They want to have freedom. All they care about now is to do have freedom. And until middle belt rise up, they are finished. Let us listen.
Till their voices dried up.
Listen.
Tears dried up, and there was nothing more to cry.
Yes.
And they just watched.
Yes.
In 2006, over 40 in a house to kill me. It turned out I postponed my return home, and they met my wife.
Yes.
They did unspeakable things to her. I left her half dead and tortured.
And raped to the point where she became blind. This man is telling you not what happened to somebody else, what happened to the wife, what Fulani did to the wife. This same Fulani is yours. Some fool, hey. I think it's about time when somebody says something about Nigeria. You put your fingers in idiots' eyes. They are foolish. This is what happens to you when you allow the Fulanis to come in. Your wife will be raped to the point that she will become blind. These are people that sleep house. They sleep with cows. They come and they rape your wife into blindness until your wife goes blind. Then you understand you're in a zoo, a zoological republic, courtesy of Britain. And Britain cannot see any of these things. They see no evil and they hear no evil. And it's happening. And you want men of good conscience to keep quiet. You want us to not to speak, not to talk, not to agitate for our freedom, to be quiet until Fulani will sweep us. My God. God will punish all of you, all of you. Hanese and Pandef, all you fools taking money from Fulani, taking money and making our lives a misery. Useless people. Listen.
Through the mercy of God, she recovered. 6 months later, in the USA, she came back. Exactly later, they came back again. This time, they met me at home. Over 30 people came, broke down the house. They had their time. Broke down the back door, came in, and took me out to kill me.
Are you listening?
They later on came and said they'll kill me in my bedroom. I pleaded with them to pray, and they allowed me to pray. I prostrated before the Lord. About 2 minutes later, my wife was holding my hands. 5 minutes later, my son came in and I said, "What are you doing here?" And they've gone. What chased them away? What they saw, what they didn't see, only eternity will reveal. Now, friends, I'm not this to play down on those who have died. I've lost a classmate who was a pastor in Kaduna. He was roasted in his church. I've lost colleagues, schoolmates, and brothers and sisters who've been slaughtered for the faith.
Yes.
Why I'm alive, I don't know. But one thing I know, until my time is up, and I know I will die someday, blood crash, air crash, car crash, whatever crash, until that day, I have a gospel to proclaim. I have a gospel worth, and I have a gospel worth dying for. Amen.
He has finished. He survived it. His friends did not. The wife suffered rape until she became. That is the Nigeria that some idiots are canvassing for to be continued. I don't understand it. So don't learn. People from the middle belt, they tell them, man, is your problem. BIAFRA is your problem. Go and fight them. They came to our land and they killed over 5 million people. Today, are they not being by the same people? Today, are they not in the forests of Yoruba land? Are they not in their forests killing them? Those that said, oh, we are Niger Delta, we are South. Have you been spared? Are you not being killed? Do you see where we came? When Kokigabia determined that we should come. Now, this man is from the middle belt. The same middle belt that Go On comes from. Somebody said his name is, I don't know what his name is, Yang. They said that the problem in the zoo, the Fulani problem started after Go On was overthrown. I don't know how grown-up men in the zoo, especially some of them you call your elders, how they can be so deceptive. They are liars. Slaves in war And they come and they spew out outright. Look at this very man telling us that problem started. Gowon was a Christian. Gowon was fighting for one Nigeria. I want to let it flow. Look at, if you want to see how sad your lives are, look at Gowon. Gowon was a head of state. He was a Christian. They brought him out. He thought he was fighting for today. Go to his village, go to his state. What is happening to him? They got what's his name? He was fighting for one Nigeria. He was going to kill you. He was killing Igbo people. He killed Ironsi. He was fighting to kill everybody. He was so deadly during the war. Because they told him the problem you have is Biafra is an Igbo man. Go and kill him. He went. Today, the same man is lamenting. Because they never learned anything from it. That is how full and great. Today, they have gone to police stations and to army barracks to tell them, hey, IPOB is the problem. Nnamdi Kanu is the problem. Go and kill every IPOB officer. But these are idiots from the Middle Belt. These are officers, army and police from the Middle Belt. In their own villages, Fulanis have taken over. The same Fulanis telling you to go and kill IPOB, killing Nnamdi Kanu, kill everybody. And can you see how foolish you are? All of you, even those working in the courts in our land, do you see how foolish you are? So you don't know by detaining somebody who is agitating for your freedom, you are helping the Fulani to advance you into your village and take it over. Look at Jos, what is playing in the Middle Belt. You had a living test. This problem started with the coup that overthrew Gowon, Jonathan, people talking. These are the so-called elders, people lying. He never knew that Gowon should have insisted on the implementation of Aburi. Aburi is the same acclaiming for today, you know. The same restructuring. Let's have a dialogue. All that is. Imagine 193 million people, 7 million people to have a dialogue.
Actually,
have you seen
it's the same letter. They
anything
sent me this once as email.
193 million people begging 7 million people, please can we dialogue? I have never seen such idiocy only in Africa. That was why only 5,000 Europeans foolish. Jonathan, this not government. The same plateau that is the war against Biafra. They knew Tojubu went to Abuja to negotiate for restructuring, for regionalization. Same thing that you have in England. But England said, no, I don't understand it. The same thing. Gowon came back and was overthrown. Now he's saying that it was overthrown when they were being lied to. That's people very, very envious. People are very, very individualistic and self-envious. Otuku went to Aburi to negotiate the restructure after 50 years. After 50 years, the same thing that people saw, the same thing fought for is what they are now. Everybody's now clamoring and fighting for it.
Then to find a new one.
Now you understand, don't you?
It's quite easy to do.
We are always right. When we refuse to vote for Buhari, we are right. We knew him. These days that I'm happy about that, our Yoruba brothers now understand that we are measured in our thinking. When we say no to something, that thing that is evil in it. Now they are going to use Tinubu to once again. They will bring out Tinubu. They'll be talking about, as I said, I trust this very set. It's not like the ones who have gone before. These are young, vibrant men and women. Dudua movement. And they're not going back anymore. That's what I'm about. And they have hoisted their flag. Yaba. Did anybody shut them? Did the Lagos State governor come out as Umahi will foolishly do, idiots? No sit at home here. People have, I am asking Umahi, have you Lagos State? Do you know that the Yoruba Oduduwa flag was flying in Yaba? Did someone look come out? Who are those? Arrest them. My friend is the commandant of cantonment. Go and shoot them. If any stupid, hopeless Igbo governor, useless to the bone, you hopeless, go and shoot them. Because you're trying to please your Fulani master. So they can give you presidency. Better than anywhere. Let them come and campaign now for presidency. Let's see. That time they will not
how angry we are. They think they're smart.
So you just slide it in.
Look at, we are angry. In a state, Fulani headsmen are slaughtering people. I'm Google it tonight and post it. Those listening on Facebook, go and Google it and post the link. Therefore, he opened his mouth and said, they are raping our mothers and killing them in the state. Yeah, it was carried by Punch newspaper. Go for it. We said, we made up of Fulani killing us in the state. The same government, oh, guys, you should not sit at home. There is no problem here. Because he wants to contest for president. Because of your presidency, our mothers should be killed and raped in the farm. Because of the money you took from Islamic Bank to build 1 or 2 because of that rubbish, we then sacrifice our lives. The same idiotic move made by a Fulani peasant. And today, Gobe, his name's gone.
Sometimes I think
you think you're smart?
You're so interested in a better future for your nation.
They know nothing. These people are lying.
Sometimes I think
you see that. They are liars, and deceivers. Somebody should go and ask, go on. Who is responsible for the mess now happening in this zoo? It's not you. Go on. Nobody journalists can go. Seasoned journalists emeritus, and I'm asking them, why have you not been to go on to ask go on? Why did you not honor Aburi Akko? Why don't you ask all of them agitating today for one national dialogue or the other? Or for consumer review, ask them what happened when that you came and you were lying to who succeeded. Liars. Liars. And now their shame has got up with them. They no longer know how to hide their shame anymore. They are now looking for excuses. The same problem that's been ravaged. Where people are being killed in Kaduna, they are being slaughtered. In the same southern Kaduna, they have their sons and their daughters and fighting those who are fighting for their freedom. How foolish can black people be, I ask? The same thing goes for those who are working in the courts in BIAFRA land. You want to jail somebody who is fighting for you. The problem of Nigeria today is go on. Go on is the problem. He may say that he was the head of go on is the problem of Nigeria. That is why I said I'm praying. I am praying every day. And he knows that God is no longer listening to his prayers because he comes from Plateau State. Benue Plateau is now the epicenter of Fulani banderism as punishment, because if you touch the anointed of God, God will always pay you back. All the terrorism ravaging the north is as a result of what they did in our land. And if I say to them, the reason why all this volunteer are killing the army and the police is because of Operation Python, they won't believe it. But that is the reason why. They will kill all of them, and they'll keep killing them. And today, Plateau, people of this no man or woman who can claim to be a local government chairman is because of God is the problem. Go on went to Ghana, discussed with Ojukwu how things are going. He came back and he reneged, and he had the temerity to come back and say, let me catch a journalist again, right? That nonsense that they went to war. BIAFRA said, I'm just waiting to read from one idiot. Then I will disgrace the fool. Idiots everywhere. So, that's why I call them zoo animals. They went to school. And I have said, they should knock down, they should put this in the zoo. It is useless. What they train are idiots. As your part of this, as a graduate, and you go and do that useless YSC, become a very foolish idiot for the rest of your life, because you can no longer reason. 193 million people. Do the mathematics. 109 people. 7 million. For your two naked eyes. Two naked eyes to come build a refinery. Every day you wake up and you talk about one Nigeria. You're not foolish. Are you? We can do that. One was the man who sabotage, and I saw today for all the wars happening in the zoological republic that Britain created. The British imperialists got all the beautiful Victoria Accord in a mess. It's the reason why you are dying in the middle of Fulani's camp in your villages right now. the rise of Quran is the one, and everybody fell hook, line, and sinker. Propaganda, all of you fell for it. The same way that they are carrying the propaganda against me, and I paid. But if you give us one, we give you 100. That is why they are afraid of us. Bring it on. I don't care. Let them do a documentary about us, and they know who we are. Even Facebook has gone on to close our a community of 1.5 million people. It doesn't matter how they conspire. Now, our own platform, now as I'm speaking, the whole world is listening to me. They can no longer cage us. They can no longer censor what we say or what we are thinking. The field is level. And they will get it. They will get it. People are now waking up to the reality that full on demonic plans for all of you ignorant shouting one Nigeria is very obvious. Once you shout one Nigeria, you are a complete bastard. You are an enemy. I'm telling you the truth. Fulani is making you rain and you cannot see it, and you claim you went to school, you claim you're educated. But of course you're not. People moving cattle from place to look at Nyetiala. Ordinary Nyetiala can go to Rock, and they gave them 1 billion in front of all of you. All of you know it. They didn't hide it. A terrorist group was given 100 million before all of you animals in the zoo. 193 million people, 7 million people that came as visitors. Told the man's life, I don't want to say something. We are useless to the bottom. Useless. 193 million. They go to the forest. All of this nonsense. I need to come up at the time. Oh God, they never put me out of this misery and this UG black people, they drive me mad. Black people, Joe, why did you black people? How can you create people who cannot reason? I don't understand. Northern agenda to tighten the news on the South. Listen, someone into the House of Reps and took an oath to federal constitution. His wife has described he thinks they'll give him presidency. He's a madman. This is what they do you to be against yourselves. And I have asked all these murderers that you have answering governors. These are people that killed their own fellow brothers and sisters. Let me ask you, have you not heard of freedom agitation? Did you not see the flag, the Yoruba flag? Has anyone burnt the flags? It's only you idiots. Fools, if we free blessed day, BIAFRA this, you did this, can you now understand it? And let me tell you, there's something to know. Look at Sahara, look at all the Yoruba papers, Punch newspaper, all of them reputation. Has any of them called them secessionists? No. He's an Igbo journalist now. Once he writes, or BIAFRA journalist and submits, his Yoruba editor will tell him, come on, go and change that, put secessionists there. But now, their own people are agitating. Nobody's collecting them socialists. I want our people to put on their things. I want them to become reasonable. I want the governors of the East to do what their counterparts are doing in the West and learn. Have you seen it? Up now, contest for president. They can vote the person. But you, after killing the members, conniving to bring Operation Power, come and campaign so we can vote for you to become president. So you killed us. Where's that? You drop. You think we are not sensible? Come and campaign, catch you. But of course, BIAFRA will come before that. None of you, your wickedness, all of you, all these idiots, we want to for you president. You are in cloud cuckoo land. We are waiting for you to bring out your campaign vehicle on the streets of Biafra and how angry we are. If you want to join us and fight for Biafra, when Biafra comes, you contest to be the Biafra president, to be the most prestigious office in Africa. Fools. And you think we are foolish? 2019 was the last time again. Federal constitution. What's it called again? Is it federal called rubbish? He's telling you that the Fulanis are coming for you. Yet you are there in saying, I'm a Delta, I'm part of Niger Delta of Niger. According, not to me, not to Nnamdi Kanu, not IPUB, not to anything we're saying. The person you sent to the federal house to represent you, he has seen what is about to come and is there in your tiny hut in the drinking polluted water, shouting in Nigeria of Nigeria. The stupidity is a very big disease. Now it's approximately 25 minutes to the top of the hour. We are live in the gospel of heaven. Of heaven. Not of heaven. Ezekiel is in his grave today. He never knew that one Nigeria will be like this. There will be a time no house member in Abuja or the capital, anywhere it is, he will people that they are coming. But he was there because the Africa, sick of Nigeria, one Nigeria. But now look here what a politician is telling you. They're bringing everything, arming media, using the police and the army to advance through your homes and villages. They have bribed Facebook. They have bribed everybody. They have bribed everybody bribable to suppress the truth. Because of course, from the any death in Nigeria is a plus for the world because there are 200 million. So in fact, I even believe they're the ones encouraging family terrorism. I'm being honest with you. The overwhelming evidence of Fulani domination and patent Islamization. Yoruba people have not learned from the experience of their law to the Fulani. Some so-called Yoruba are against the Oduduwa Republic. But one good thing is that no Yoruba governor mobilized the Fulani army to do us you have in Biafra. These are the ones going to contest for presidency now. After he killed us as a governor, imagine what you're going to do to us when you become a president. Now, you will send a Fulani, you want to prove to Fulani that you're a good Nigerian. That means, and they will tell you, why don't you go and set an example with your own people? You will send to come and behead all of us. Igbo man, president of Nigeria. Mad people everywhere. October 1 rally, and in this very division, they have these people claim they are educated. Some of them claim that they went to school. There is one calling himself Chief Lakan Balogun. Not seen any Yoruba Oba who supports self-determination. How can they support it when they are afraid they will be arrested if they do? Olu Badon, who only won at that Ibadan conference by his high chief,
and Lekon pleaded for unity and peace among you. Did not preach self-determination. The idiot saying this thing doesn't know that there are Yoruba people in Benin Republic, Yoruba people in Togo as well. He claims he loves Yoruba people, but he doesn't want to see all united under one banner, under one nation. I don't know if it is the must be something wrong with him idiot that calls himself a Nigerian. I'm very sorry, it is not the high chief. Please let me see the monkey saying more harm will be done. He is a coward. He didn't even put his name down. We need to involve everybody. You are going to. Are you going to tell him that the Fulani is getting money? He said it's not. Nothing. Senator Femi Okoromo, whatever the fool's name is, he's there, and the foreigners and their forests is doing nothing. His concern is that little money that the promised him coming from Abuja. That's his concern, a black man. Once they are okay with their families, everybody else can go to hell. They don't care. That is how they reason. That is who they are. That is how they behave. But now they can see, you have your own fish. Somebody should remind that fool that Middle Belt people were saying the same thing before. When Gowon was there, they were dancing and basking in the euphoria. We were against Biafra. We defeated Biafra. Today, they wake up and they see 8, 9, 20 janja weed on top of their wives. And by the end of the process, the woman will be blind. Now you understand? Please, that is why I don't feel sorry for Ifulefu. 60 years in the air, 3 years, and the zoo is going nowhere. According to that, Dogon Yaro, Lake Water, and all from the Middle Belt. Danjuma, Dogon, Lake Water, all from the Middle Belt. They were the ones that fought Biafra. They were the ones that organized. Is your problem? That they are crying to bring blood today coming out of their eyes. I'm not happy about it. It's God come up. Now they know Biafra wasn't the problem. Now they know that they are their own. The same place that Danjuma comes from, his own comes from. Now the Middle Belt is paying the price. Hausa people paid the price for betraying their kings. Today the Middle Belt is doing something. They're right. Saying that it's a least democracy, other matters to be investigated. Now want Biafra war to be investigated. Now they understand that we did nothing wrong. Now they know that now they're even using the same words that are used on Radio Biafra. This administration using colonial solutions to tackle problems. You know, the Fulanis, they are the ones colonizing you. Very, very clear. Very, very clear. This is why we say sit at home. It's only that tells you how wicked and callous some of these are. Everybody is lamenting. Even people who are in the wool, Nigerians like that, they are lamenting. So when we said better our farms, can't you see it's a Fulani state? Their homes to come out.
When they don't, is for home to come out on the 1st of October in Abakaliki or in Ebonyi. The blood of all those people that the Fulani terrorists are killing in the farms are on your head. Umahi said, come out, defy the sit at home, wants to be vice president to a Fulani man. All the mining in Ebonyi is under Umahi's name with Chinese people. That's what he's doing. Some of you are blind. The same thing that the Fulanis did to Middle Belt is what he's doing to all of you because you are blind. You are blind. You cannot see. When the results will come home, I will tell you, I told you so. As I was telling everybody before, you people before that the Fulanis were coming, did you believe me? Did you believe me? I told you they will come. I said they are coming to enthrone bad governance. This thing they're saying today, I told you the Fulanis will come. Your life will be a misery. Has it not happened? Has it not happened before your eyes? The same thing will happen to you. People don't know Omahi will destroy all of you in Ebonyi. By the time you wake up, I swear to God in heaven, it will become a Fulani caliphate. Then your eyes will clear. I mean, mad people everywhere. Even now, after so many years, Biafra war, Sharia, democracy, other matters to be investigated. Now the eyes are open. 50 years after who told them this. What I'm fighting is a just cause. They didn't want to hear. People kept saying, what I'm fighting, nobody wanted to listen. Yoruba did not want to listen. Middle Belt said, let's go and kill them. Even our own brothers, everybody, they bribed them, they gave money to some from a land, like Edwin Clark, to become a traitor, and he was a traitor. They are today your leaders. Traitors of yesterday are today your leaders, and you're telling me that you're human beings. What type of God made you? Now, after demonizing Ojukwu, after talking rubbish about Biafra, after over 50 years, typical black people, they have now realized the mistakes. They are now saying, oh, we are very sorry. Which they went to IP. Was IPOB? Remember when we started? There was no name under the sun that we were not called. Every name miscreant. So are you telling me now that those people fighting for the Republic that they are miscreants? Are they touts? Are they for recognition? Do they want money? Do they want fame? I want to let people understand the depth of evil in the heart of an Igbo man. I want to ask them, have you seen those who are agitating now? As a result of us, when I met the Amazonians in America in those days, they told me, I asked them, how did you start? They said we were listening to Radio BIAFRA. I'm being honest, go and ask them. It spurred us to rise up to challenge the existing colonial imperialistic orthodoxy in Cameroon by listening to us. I'm being honest with you. Now, in Western Togoland, in Ghana, they are fighting for freedom because they listen to Radio BIAFRA. People that the Yorubas can never wake up, that they will never rise up to fight. But now, this breed I'm seeing now, I'm even afraid of them. They are determined to the core. And as I said to them, Tinubu will try to use it to ride to Asorok. They said over there, it can never happen. So there is no fear that tomorrow they will give it to Tinubu and he will abandon. No, people can't abandon this. It's impossible. That is to tell you, everything we tell you comes to pass. Everything I tell you comes to pass. And why would people defend something as horrible as Nigeria? Because of what I call the empire mentality from our creators, the British, who adopted, I can't understand. People put in power after independence adopted the rogue mentality of building an empire. They call themselves nationalists. Before the white man came, were the Yorubas at war with Biafra people? The answer is no. Were we at war with Middle? The answer is no. How come after they came and left? Because they built an empire. And there is something in the brain of black people. This is something that most people don't know. Black people, no matter how primitive, we love our freedom. And that is in the next 50 years, see Africa, you won't visit again. People are going to break into pieces. If they like, they can come back together. But to tell me that a white man can come from somewhere and model people up together and give you a name and you answer it, in 50 years' time, Africa will not be recognizable. People will break away. I'm telling you, people who want to be on their own, the way we were before the white man came. And what is wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Those idiots that call themselves nationalists, they came and acquired the British Empire mentality. Let us expand. That was why, as if you said, no, they leave Nigeria the way it is. I don't believe in breakup because he wants to be an emperor and an empire that he did not be. That is the truth and the fact of life. That is why, even as we preach this very gospel, in the Western, they call it, is this Western Togoland, they call it. Western Togoland. The Ghanaian police or the Ghanaian armed forces. That's where they are strong. Armed forces. Ghana security forces say separatists killed in shootout. That's what they do. That is that colonial mentality, that empire mentality. There was no before the British came. Everybody was on their own. People want to go back to the way they were before the white man came, and you're busy shooting them because Nana Akufo-Addo wants to be Arab. Britain gave us Ghana. You know, I understand this thing about black people. I'm struggling. When the white man came and was conquering us, we were complaining, saying we don't like it, we want the white man to go. And as soon as the white man left, that's a defeat of racism, which is a nation state in Africa. We allowed that very philosophical inconsistency, in terms of our approach to something we clearly identified as a problem initially. When the white man left, instead of the nationalists to say, to your tent, oh, let us plan from there. They said, no, we want to, they even formed an army and police to police the boundary created by a white man. That is why I have no regard nor respect for them. People call them nationalists. I call them a bunch of idiots. They are nothing. Right across, you say they are nationalists. They're rubbish for their pockets and their families. For independence properly are those that are allowed to go back to how they were before the white man came. You are killing people in Western Togo. And I'm asking Kofi Nana Addo, the Prince of Ghana. Before the white man, did your ancestors have anything called Ghana before, or Gold Coast? But now the white man has left. Assume. Very backwards. Very, very backwards. Very, very backwards, I'm telling you. That is why I call African people fools. They don't have any brain, they cannot reason very well. Before the white man came. Then if you agree with to do the white people, I can negotiate. I'm a Nigerian. Let's defend Nigeria. And I'm wondering what type of cage the animal jumped out from. And possibly a university degree holder for that matter. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad, but we must preach the gospel of truth. It's your Puchine Ghana, but we must. So I have for all of you. They will continue. That is for peace sake, sex president. We are not. This is this middle belt. He's in the middle belt. Should be. Is that? Did we say our problem? Do you think we are fools? Don't you think that we can go and support somebody to come? People can be made whatever thing that they want to be, given positions, slots, and they will make so much money. I don't know we can do that. That is not our cup of tea. If you like, spread your presidency like confetti all over the place. That is when they will know who we are. We are not tested. If you like, come to my village. And we, after P2B and article, that's banned. That is the end of it. No more. No presidency, nothing. Let us give it. Do you think we are foolish? The same way you use your so-called presidency, you gave it to go on. A Christian from Middle Belt. And then you took over all of them and said, we are all one off. And they agreed. What is happening to them? There's something you want to do to us. They come and take the presidency. After that, then, look, Jonathan was what happened. Any improvement? Is there any improvement? If people were enriched, that's all. Who tell me the tangible improvement for a woman in the creek drinking contaminated water? How did you improve her life and that of the children? How, I ask. People are not thinking it's our turn. For equity's sake, you are foolish. Live abroad. Where you live abroad, is it Donald Trump your cousin? Is he from your village? It's the policies that matter, how they are structured, how it is run. It doesn't matter where somebody comes from. I'm asking you, for some of them, is the turn of, is it man's turn? Is Boris Johnson from your village? Is Boris Johnson from your village? I ask you. People talk as if they cannot reason very well. What we want is our freedom, and that freedom we're going to get. If you like, you can go and join the family with deceive. It's because of Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. That is why you cannot get the presidency. See what you can do. Some of you will try to pose and plan with them to arrest and to do all manner of evil to us, but you cannot succeed. You cannot never ever prevail. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. Keep your useless presidency. We don't want it. You can canvass all. You can pay all the journalists to write all the junk they like. You cannot force. There is no presidency. Want it? What we want is freedom. Is as simple as that. If you don't like it, you can go to hell. Or that is one man, one vote. That will referendum. That's what we're asking for. And when that happens, one man, one vote. If you want the heads to stop abducting Catholic Delta, which is a headline on Vanguard newspaper, they abducted a Catholic priest. Some of you who are shouting one Nigeria, this is where you claim you come from. In Asorok, this is where you claim you come from. Suspected Fulani heads on Saturday evening kidnapped a Catholic priest, Reverend Father Jude Onyebade, and 3 of his workers in his farm along Seluku. And in your local government area, Delta State, the area into fear. When IPOB goes in now to dislodge them, they start planning, they send the army, they send the police. Now, no army, no police, nobody shooting up the village, nothing. Because it's Fulani. That is their game plan. Loreto not sure you are in Asok supplying dead wood prostitutes happening in the so-called state. This is one thing that fools understand. I was warning you before, if you are shouting one Nigeria and working for the Fulani Janjaweed
have come to Delta to deal with you. People cannot reason. But here we compel them, we force them to reason, and they are reasoning because they have no choice. They must reason. They have no choice. They must reason. And Facebook is doing all they can, as usual, to suppress our numbers, but of course they are joking. We have Facebook, we have IPOB Community Radio. That is where a lot of people listen to us these days on. That is the platform we are on. Very, very soon, as your firm is working very hard, we go interactive. We can begin to interact there. And then, you to hell with your Facebook. We go there because it will have interactive functionality. We can chat each other up. People can message us in the open during live program like this so that the world may know. And he's gone now. Headsman in Delta. They have taken the priest. Right now, he's tweeting for Fulani in Asorok. He's tweeting. Look at her face; is all burnt with cream, bleaching cream, burnt. Look at your village. Look, useless woman. Look at your village. The people you are serving in Asorok, supplying prostitutes to, they are the ones in your village. Their children are in your village. Affecting your village. You are in Asorok doing one Nigeria. Oh, people are very foolish. Very, very foolish. Very, very foolish. We are live and we are dead, of course. We are coming to the end of our program, but not quite yet. Another gas explosion in Lagos. They say everything is gas. They explode the bomb, Fulani explode the bomb, kill people. Even when there is no gas, so it is gas. Gas explosion. Oh God, is anything like next life? Nigeria. Fulani have killed people in Lagos. Several persons were killed and injured, and vehicles burnt in a gas explosion, which is Fulani terrorist attack in Lagos. Very, very simple. They are working hand in hand with the Fulani army. Hand in hand with the Fulani terrorist army. That is what they are doing, and bombing and killing people all over the place. And some idiots cannot see, they cannot understand it. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. And I'm sure now that the Shia have risen, complain about the film made by Peter. I hope the world can understand that for what is a very, very sad case indeed. You are the nonsense written, which I will analyze, of course, on Wednesday. The letter by Garba Shehu to Commonwealth, I will analyze it in depth on Wednesday, because right now we have come to the top of the hour. Our 2 hours is almost off. There are a lot of things that I would like to bring to you today, but unfortunately we cannot be able to do so. We have come to the program this very day, but do understand one thing: if you are in support of one Nigeria, that means you take over your village. You want terrorists to run your lives. You want this reign of agony and mediocrity to continue forever and ever. Even those who were instrumental in rigging the now late dead Buhari into power, they are lamenting very seriously, because Fulani terrorism are taking over the place. But we are saying no to it. We are resisting and doing all we can. And I am glad that people are now waking up, people are now rising up from all over the place, and we are winning this very battle by the grace of Chukwukikabia, and not by anything we have been able to do so far. I thank you all for listening this very evening, morning, afternoon, or night, depending on where you are. And as always, do not forget, people wonder why we are fanatical about Biafra. We are fanatical about Biafra. Biafra is our religion. Here on Radio Biafra is where we worship, because Elohim Chukwukikabia is our God. I thank you very much for listening from me from here. Good evening.
I remember the Nigerian Biafra war, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafra army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 he's another Savior. Singing out, holy, 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 he's another Savior. Holy, 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 he's another Savior. Many years after the genocide, Hey, ana mekele mazuche mefo. Manemo. It's an honor having you on board. Melody.